Welcome, friends, to another episode of Hot Takes Cold Brew. I'm your host, Garie, and I'm here with my wonderful, super chill co-host, Danielle. Danielle, say hi.
Hello.
For this episode, we read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and we have some takes. But first, we're going to start off with a bit of a summary. Danielle, could you please tell our audience what this book is about?
I sure can. So, in Dark Matter, we follow physicist Jason Dresden. He's got the picture perfect life, a lovely wife, teenage son. Everything seems great until one day he is kidnapped and he starts a time traveling journey. And you wonder, will he ever make it back to his family, to his wife and beloved son? So, it's a really fun book. There's a lot of twists and turns. It's a fast read. But yeah, a little sci-fi in there, but nothing too hard. I think the author does a great job of kind of breaking down the scientific aspects for us casuals.
This book here.
I forgot mine.
It's okay.
Of course, I brought the two other books, and then I was like, I think I forgot the book. But it's okay, because I didn't have, significant notes written in the book.
Okay. That's
So
also a
it's
thing. I
fine.
should probably just write my notes in the book going
Oh,
forward.
I do sometimes. Usually I just mark pages, so I know what I want to reference or come back to if it was good or whatever. I didn't have that for this book.
I'll say for this book, I tried a different form of note taking, which was fun, but not constructive, I felt. I did voice memos.
Oh no.
No, not voice memos. I did speech to talk, speech to
Oh
text.
no. See, I will never listen back.
Well, I didn't listen back. I was reading it back. So I did the voice to text. So, everything I said was in text, but, the way you speak versus the way you write
I
is
just
different.
wouldn't listen to my notes. I wouldn't listen back to my voice note.
Really?
No, I don't like hearing myself recorded. So if
Do you
I
not
did,
watch our show? Do you not watch this podcast?
I do, but I don't watch it in closely.
But yeah, I tried doing voice to text for my notes, and they were really funny to read back, but it was so disorganized, and
Oh,
and it wasn't paragraph form, you know what I mean? You have to be oh, new paragraph or move whatever, and I didn't do
yeah.
that, so it was just a huge fucking text box, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I tried to have ChatGPT organize it, did not. And I was like, well, I had to go back and highlighted it. And I highlighted it on my phone and I copy and pasted it and sent it to myself in an email, but all the highlights didn't transfer over. So I will be,
This is a lot of work.
yeah. So, and I started going back through the highlights, but then I got lazy and I didn't feel like doing it. So I'm partially going to look at the screen and also look at my phone when I'm referring to notes for this book.
That's fine.
Cool. I do have a lot of thoughts on this book.
Oh, I'll let you go first then. I don't have a ton of thoughts. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too, but I enjoyed it.
I didn't have any notes.
Right. I enjoyed it the way that I enjoy things, which is I have a lot of
Good.
um, like. So for this book, Dark Matter, which one I'm very happy it was a soft cover. I cannot stand having a hardcover book that's just a regular fucking book.
I I don't know what you mean by regular, but I just take whatever they have available.
Because I just feel like if the book is not a piece of historical classical literature or something, I don't need it to be a hardcover. I feel like there should be an option to always get a soft cover. That's just my opinion. The Dungeon Crawler Carl thing, I was so irritated because I had to order it. And on top of that, when I ordered it, I was like, I know this is going to be a fucking hardcover. And it is. And it's this big fucking book that I have to carry around. And it just
That's so
irritates me.
funny.
But whatever. I
I don't
digress.
mind that at all. I kind of like when I just get what I get because then all the books together, it makes a fun little menagerie of hardbacks and softbacks, and I don't know. I think it looks nice on the shelf.
I mean, it does. It's fine. My bookshelf has like hardcovers and soft covers, and it's fine. And I'll
I'm
live.
also not sure that I am a sophisticated enough reader to like think a book is not worth being. I don't know that I may not be on that level.
It's not worthy
In
of.
fact, I'm not sure that I have that sort of tier system in place.
That's fair.
Be bothered.
I'm also just like weird in that way, and I just feel like whatever.
I'm
And
sure many people feel the same way. Some people probably like all hardbacks, and you'd be horrified by them.
see, the thing is, I don't mind the aesthetics of a hardback, and I know this is like a tangent, but like I don't mind aesthetically how it looks. I just don't. I feel like being in New York and carrying a book all the time. I don't want to carry a hardback.
See, I like if I have to carry a hardback because then it's not gonna get messed up. Like if I have a paperback, it's gonna get something spilled on it. It's gonna get ripped. It's gonna get like
Why is that
torn
happening to
apart
only
because
York?
I don't know.
Like just to carry your books when it's
I have cats. I can't.
your cats are like spilling things specifically on soft cover books.
Like if I set it next to the couch on the table, they'll like sit on it. They'll spill something over it. Like
Would
if
they
I put
choose
it
to do
in
that
a
with
bag to take to work, I'll have something else nearby that happened to tear the edges or something stupid. It's just I don't know. It's too chaotic.
I mean, if I didn't have to, if I got in a car every day, I would, I would not mind a hardback cover.
Yeah.
But because I don't, it's just, it's heavier and it adds up because I carry this big ass tote bag that I probably put way too much stuff in. And then I have my gym bag that I also have a lot of stuff in. And now I started wearing a 10-pound vest, which I also added to my fucking backpack. So, like, I don't want,
It's, a strength training. Additional resistance.
no, my bone density is probably insane. I'm going to have a checkup soon. And I hope my doctor's like, you have insane bone density for someone your age. It's like, yeah, because I carry like
Probably.
to my back every fucking day.
I mean,
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
know. I guess I just don't mind. I understand what you're saying. I think it makes sense. You can keep this in for the listeners so they
Oh
can
yeah,
that you
100%.
that you like a
Soft.
very soft cover book.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked this book. I liked that it was a soft cover. Um, and I will say at first, I thought it was a slow burn. I thought it was a slow read. And it didn't start getting interesting to me until maybe about page 100. And yeah, because first of all, this man's just running around doing nothing, causing a ruckus, doing nothing, just complaining and just confused. And I'm like, can I get a like reliable narrator at some point? Like, I just want to understand what's going on. I don't want to be just as confused as this man. Because for the listeners, this guy, Jason, is that his name?
Yes, his name is Jason.
Ethan is this very vanilla man in Chicago. And it starts off with him and his wife vibing in the kitchen. He wants to go to his like biggest haters event, Ryan. Ryan does not fuck with Jason at all. I don't know why it's even a topic of the discussion to go to this party. Something happens at the party where Ryan's like, you're a fucking bum, your wife's a bum, your kid's a bum, you're a fucking loser. You could have been so much better in life, but you're not. And then obviously Jason gets upset and leaves. And then Jason gets jumped outside. And that was so, he didn't even fight back, it felt like. I was like, be a man a little bit. Like, I'm not trying to be like, whatever, but he gets jumped by one other person. Did you mute? Okay. He gets jumped by one other person, and then he just kind of like doesn't like, I don't know, the whole like he ends up in a lab and everyone's just like, "Oh my god, Jason's here. This is great. Let's ask him questions." And he just like has no critical thinking skills for someone who is a scientist in my view. Like I just I would have questions if I was him. I would use my scientific reasoning to be like, maybe I should understand what's happening here. I got jumped outside of this bar. I ended up in a new place with people who I don't know, who know me. Let me take a beat. Instead, he just like panics like a fucking cat pushed up against the wall. He's freaking out. And I'm just like, what are we doing here? And it's
I'm trying to let you finish because this is hilarious.
and and he's like, uh and like and I took a lot of notes about this because it was just like, what? So then after he like, so he's freaking out in the science lab and he's like, I'm gonna escape. I think he goes to the bathroom or whatever. He goes somewhere and they're just like, okay, we trust you because you're Jason. Escapes. He decides again, he's in a place that he's not familiar with. He's an adult man, he's a scientist. And he's like, I'm just gonna go home. You think you think all these people don't know where you live? These people that you don't know but know you very well, you think they don't know where you fucking live? You're gonna just take a cab home? Is that what you think is gonna fucking happen? And he does. And then he goes home. He is like, oh my god, this is an unfamiliar place. Like, no fucking shit. You like what? You thought this would get more normal. And also, even if you were to go home, what you see your family and like everything will just feel safe. No, you just put people in danger. That's like irresponsible, actually. Like, you should have gotten to the crux of the issue before just going home. But thank God his family wasn't home. He's home, he's looking around or whatever. People come back and they're like, hey, we obviously know where the fuck you live. Like, what the fuck did you think this was? So then he has to escape again. And this is where I was starting to be like, you know what? I'm entertained. Because when he admits himself to the hospital and he's like, hey guys, this is gonna sound crazy to you, but it's totally okay for me because I'm a scientist. I think I'm in multiple universes, and I think that, you know, I'm seeing things. I can't find my family and all this stuff. And I know it sounds crazy, but like it's not. I just need you to run some tests so that I could like review them. And and then once I do that, like I could get some answers that I need. In what fucking world can you admit yourself to a hospital on those grounds and think that things are gonna be okay? So when the doctor was like, yeah, so we're gonna admit you to an asylum. Like, that's crazy that you think that this is like cool. That's when I was like, this is actually pretty entertaining. And then it went completely uphill from there. And I have other comments about the rest of the story, but I do want to hear what you have to say for the first like 120 pages, which is what I just described.
Yeah, I feel like that's an interesting description. And I mean, I didn't have that feeling. So it starts off with, him and his family. It's kind of giving you a picture into his married life. They have one child. And I immediately was like, oh, I love this relationship. Like, they're so cute. Um, so, yeah, then he went to the bar because his friend or colleague had gotten an award. And I mean, at that point, he kind of says, well, Ryan's kind of living the life that I wonder, had I stuck with my research and not had this family, would that have been me? So I think it was sort of just Ryan sort of living what he wonders could have been. I didn't know that it was like, I didn't think that it was like as big as hater. I kind of just felt like it's that person that is living the life that you kind of envision for yourself, and you just kind of wonder what if. I mean, they seemed alright. The guy was just kind of like, why didn't you pursue science more? And I think, because I think that was one of the themes of the overall book is, you know, we all have these choices to make of, do you pursue your ambition or do you just settle down, and is the family more worth it? So I kind of thought that was laying the groundwork for that theme. I didn't take it as like this why are you going to your ops party. And so then, you know, he's on the way home and he gets kidnapped, and I mean, that's kind of it. I thought it kind of became exciting or interesting at that point. It's like, who's kidnapped him, and what's going on, and you know, he wakes up and he's confused about where he is. I thought it was sort of a natural response. You're disoriented and these people are saying they know you and you're like, I don't know you. Now, I do think there's two different ways you could go about it. You could try to play it cool, figure some stuff out, which he eventually does do when they kidnap him again. But I think it's a fairly natural human instinct to want to just go back. Like, as far as he knows, he's with his family. He was getting ice cream. They were going to finish game night. Now he's waking up somewhere. So I'm not sure that it's an unfair assumption that your response to that would be, I'd like to go home.
I'm not saying that it's not a normal reaction to want to go home, but I do think that it's like, if you just got kidnapped, you're in a place that's creepy as fuck, and it seems like it's a cult, and you just got kidnapped, and like the guy clearly on his way to like getting dropped off different dimension or whatever, which we later find out is like the box or whatever. Mm-hmm. This guy knows intimate details about this guy's family, so he knows that at least someone involved with this lab and these people know intimate parts of his life. So going home is not super, like, it's just not the safest option. I understand that you want to go home. I respect that. And I understand the yearning for that. But it's just like the irresponsible thing to do, in my view. And like, he also, like, I felt like how he dealt with his family was irresponsible overall. Like the ending, I was like, irresponsible. Like, I was not happy with how he basically forced his family into this life of like multiverse hopping. But that's for later on.
Well, I don't think he was irresponsible in that choice. I think, what are your options? I mean, obviously, if he stays, he doesn't know if he's going to see them again. It's not like it's a guarantee, you know, if your family's going to be safe. Because if he stayed, it's like that doesn't exist to him. So it's not like he's going to get what he's ultimately looking for. I don't know. I didn't have an issue with it. I thought it added to the excitement and the drama, and you're like, what's happening?
It definitely added to the drama, for sure, because I felt like a lot of things were just to push the plot forward, which it's a book, and it's a well-written book, so I was like, this is really just to push this forward, because he kept doing shit that I was like, you don't need to do this, and honestly, I feel like this is a bad choice. Because after he got home, and after he admitted himself to the hospital and all that stuff, first of all, Side note, what year was this supposed to take place in? Because he finds his wife in the Yellow Pages.
I think it seemed like it was maybe, I think my guess was somewhere in the early 2000s.
Okay. Because I was like, the Yellow
Pages. They do
Pages.
still print those, so it's not like it's impossible, but I would say it seemed like it was more early to mid 2000s.
Yeah. I have not seen a yellow book.
Well, that's because you have to seek them out now. They don't just bring them to your house. But I do think they existed for quite some time.
Whatever.
It's just not something everybody got at their home, unless they asked for one at a certain
guess. So he looked his wife up in the Yellow Pages, and I thought that was kind of crazy because I was just like, whatever. So he was like, I'm just going to pull up on Shorty and just like see what her vibe is, right? Pulls out to her, but then finds out that she has like an art show, goes to her art show, and it's like about him kind of, which was interesting. Um, but this is where I was like, could never be me, because she's geeked as fuck to see this man, and apparently they. I have to check my notes on this because they dated for a very short period of time. They dated for like a few weeks, 15 years prior, and she got pregnant and then got an abortion or some shit. Oh, these notes are so oh, wait. No. They dated for 2 months, 15 years prior, and she's stuck on this dude. That's crazy. That's like,
Some people have that effect. They say some people like it's love at first sight.
no,
So
we fucking not. And like, he told her to get an abortion. See, that's insane. That's like if earlier this year when me and Seth reconnected, he was like, actually, I just came from a different universe where we were married and had a kid. So like those like 2 years ago when we like dated, it went completely different, and we're actually like in love, and you're like my wife. I'd be like, you stay right there. I'm gonna call the fucking authorities. Are you crazy?
but I think though,
Are you fucking crazy?
but I think if you're thinking of like what they've built toward that part where they talk about, where they show that scene of their family life, this is, I think they basically were saying this was a love at first sight type of connection for them. So
But
I think for
15 years
her, and I think
later-
that's very normal too, if you dated someone, you felt that strong about them, and you had a whole abortion, I can see why that person would be kind of in your mind if you really did wonder, well, what if we had this family, or what if I had kept this child?
Understood. But 15 years later, if that same man came back to me and was like, actually, we do have that child.
But what rang for her, I think you might have forgot this part. What got her to believe him? Because she did think that was nuts. But what got her to believe him was when he was able to tell her stuff about her
Like her family and stuff.
childhood, and like, so that kind of was like, there's something that you do clearly know.
I would think that
Perhaps
there's a
told
problem.
you.
Honestly, I would be like, I think you are a stalker.
I
And
think you might, but I think it's the whole thing of it is it was kind of like the one that got away for her. So I don't
Yeah.
think her mindset was, whoa.
And also
You're
she was
crazy.
dating Ryan. She was dating his hater. That was another thing. She was seeing his homie, and then she was like, I'm really willing to risk it all anyway. I don't even care. Like, that's crazy.
I don't know. I think like I think you're thinking of it very literally
Um,
rather than like just the emotional connection that these people had, and then he's able to say like, prove we have this life together. I mean, yeah, it sounds nuts, but I mean, I guess some people would be willing to believe and some people wouldn't.
and that's how people get themselves in weird situations. And the people are like, how did that happen? Because you did not have discernment. Because why would a man 15 years get an abortion? It's like, actually, we kept that kid and we named him. I'd be like, get the fuck out. He wouldn't have the opportunity to even tell me anything else about my personal life, because I would have been like, get out of my house now. I'm like, what?
I mean, I think just the excitement of seeing him, and then
I wouldn't even have been excited. I honestly
and then
would've
it was weird for them
up.
too, because he clearly didn't know. Clearly, they were like, "No, this happened," and he's like, "What?" They just the differences in what everyone's remembering. I think some people would be curious rather than, "Whoa, get out." I think many people would
know.
be curious about it.
They would be curious and they'd get themselves in some shit. And you know what happened to her? You know what happened to her, Danielle? She got herself in some shit.
I was not anticipating that they would kill her though.
I for sure knew she was gonna die. I was like, he's gonna get her messed up. Because
I mean, I didn't know that. I just, because it's not like, I think it depended on what they felt like she knew. I don't know. I don't think it was just like every person around you would get killed, but
I felt like he was like, first of all, he himself did not feel safe. That's thing number one. He did not feel safe. So, and I understand the natural inclination to be like, I want to go somewhere that feels like home and safety to me, which is my wife, who is in a different dimension. But I'm going to go to her in this dimension because that's what's going to make me feel safe. I understand that concept. However, you're a scientist. You should be like, well, if I feel unsafe, if I go to her, I will then put her in a situation to also be unsafe. That is not something he thought about.
But I think at that point he was trying to figure out what was going on. So I think at that point it was more, I'm trying to connect the dots on where I am and what's happening here.
But to bring her to his home was kind of to go to her home. I thought was kind of crazy. I felt like,
as opposed to what?
I mean, he could like. I felt like he had all the data points he needed at her like exhibition, like at her gallery exhibit.
Not really, because he didn't know what compound. He didn't know what Ryan had done to be a part of it. Like he didn't know. Oh, you made this compound for me. Like he wasn't still clear on what exactly, because it wasn't until he then went back and the therapist started sharing things that she wasn't supposed to share that he finally connected, that he was able to really connect all the dots. I mean, I understand if you feel that this was just a plot device, but I thought it was fine.
I just.
I mean, it's not like it took much time, so I don't know. I thought it was fine. I didn't think.
I mean, and it's not a super long book either.
Like, I don't think it was just time spent on something totally unnecessary. I don't know how else they get to that point.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it was to push the story forward.
But I think it made sense, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it was this weird, nonsensical way to push the story forward, because I can't think of something that would have been, like, what would have been, in your mind, what would have made more sense?
I think he could have gotten all the data points at the exhibit, at the gallery. Because also, all the answers he was looking for were at the lab that he started off in when he woke up in that multiverse. That's number one.
But how does he know that he's now in a different universe?
Girl, I'm not a scientist, but he is.
But he didn't, but the world he was coming from, he was just a professor. He didn't pursue that whole, he wasn't pursuing the box experiment idea. So he really had no way to know how that would work. He actually didn't even think it could work. So I think it was surprising to him that he actually did that.
Well, being a professor does not change the fact that he's a scientist.
Yeah, he's a scientist, but he had no idea he was even capable of
also,
time travel.
Also, I think the second, first of all, I already knew, because I will say the foreshadowing was laid on thick in this book. When he got to his house in the second place, in the alternate universe, when he got to his house, I was like, oh, he got kidnapped by himself. I knew exactly what happened. I knew exactly what happened when it happened. And I was like, when is this guy going to figure it out? When is Jason going to figure this out? Because the reader, already knows what happened. And also, side note, the other Jason number 2, or whatever they want to call him in the book, like, the wife was loving that version of Jason.
Well, it reminded her of the first time they met.
Yeah, but it was to the point where she's like, I don't even want to bring this up. Like, she was like, I know something's off, but I'm just.
I think it's different. I mean, of course, it's going to be different if you're 15 years into a marriage. Like, it's not gonna always be like the passionate first time. I mean, this is the first time this guy's even like really with her.
Yeah, but she was like, she made it seem like she was like she loved it. Like, she was like, he's bad with the kid, but like.
Well, I think she liked that feeling of, this is like when we first met again. I don't think she liked him better. I mean, toward when they were all as a family going through everything, she even said like his personality was not the same. I
It was
think it was
not the
just
same.
confusing to her because for her, it's like I've been in this 15-year marriage. All of a sudden, you're doing things that we haven't done since the time we met. So I think it was more she just was like kind of confused on where this passion was coming from.
Yeah.
She like
Uh,
preferred it. I think it was just something like this is kind of out of nowhere.
uh, I
I mean,
I agree. I do think it would.
I just also gonna
What
say,
is
I
that?
think to your point about you feeling like you knew it was him that was kidnapped, I think that's fine. I don't think it was like an inappropriate guess or realization for you to make at that point. I don't think that was like. I think that's the author probably understood that you'd kind of figure it out.
Yeah,
So I don't
and I feel
think that
like
was
the
like a like I think it was fine for you to know at that point. I mean, I don't think I thought about it that deeply, and whenever I realized it, I probably realized it sometime around you did, or like maybe right around because it was right after that too that he start once he got back to the lab. It was like he figured it out, so it wasn't like it's that much of a gap between the when the reader probably could have first realized it and when he found out. It
I
wasn't
think
like
that
it was more than 50 pages.
I thought the gap was significant.
Well, I
Honestly, I
think
was
that's
like,
because you
when is he
maybe weren't
going to find
enjoying
out
it
that this
for the
is
first third. I think that might have contributed
that
to that.
that is true. I will say there was one thing that I thought was low key. I didn't really understand why this was like a recurring theme or a thing that had to be said in this book. So Jason loves saying how his brownstone is this like humble abode. Like a brownstone is like a modest home. Like a brownstone's a nice place to own.
I think it depends where you're at.
Is it not nice in Chicago? I assume that it
I
is.
mean, they can be very normal. Like it depends on where you're at. Like I think yeah, it's a nice place,
I get.
but it's not like I mean, it's not going to be like in New York how this is automatically a multi-million-dollar place.
I mean, even in the alternate universe when he's like super rich, he still has a brownstone. He has the same brownstone actually.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. It just seemed like it was like this weird like
I think it was just to set him to know if he was in the right place. Like I think it was just to kind of help him understand and help the reader know, okay, you're not in the right universe type of thing.
it seemed like a humble brag that he kept wanting to like put in everyone's face.
Oh, no,
And
I
then
didn't read it as that.
that is how I read it because there was a part of like I think they like drove through maybe like South Side Chicago or whatever, and he's like the ghetto, and I was like, we don't need to use these words in this book. Like this is otherwise.
I
He
mean, that's
literally
kind of the stereotype, though, for Southside. Once you
what
get past a certain block, it would be not
I
saying it
under,
is, but that's like a stereotypical view of Southside. Yeah,
I just didn't think he needed to say we left the
it'd
ghetto.
be sort
I
of
think,
like if he was like going through the Bronx.
but just I think you could be like, there's different ways to describe it. This whole book was
Sure.
written in a way that did not need to use the phrase "we left the ghetto." That is just all I'm saying.
I can't remember the exact context, so I'm not gonna defend it. I don't know. It didn't bother me. I guess I don't know.
I just felt like it was like this weird commentary on class that didn't really make sense. It was just like he wanted to emphasize how like he had like these like humble roots in his initial universe, but like it's like, dude, you're upper middle class. Like both ways, you did fine for yourself,
Yeah,
and that's okay. And it was just like I don't know, that just like annoyed me because he kept like saying my brownstone, my like little brownstone, and it's like brownstones are nice.
yeah. I mean, they're typically nice. I think though, I guess for me, it just kind of highlights like Chicago's one of probably like the most segregated city, so it kind of just highlights how some people view it.
Yeah, apparently the ghetto. Like he,
Well, the South Side, yeah, for sure. Some people do view it that way. Like there are people who where he lived. What was it, Logan Park? People who
yeah.
live where he lived. They're oh, I'm not going. They would never go to the South Side.
But then yeah, I just didn't like how he went about all
I
that.
think that's a
And then,
totally fair statement to make. I'm just saying. I think that that's sort of. It's one of those things where that's actually a pretty accurate reflection of how some people would view that.
which I get, but
Which I
I
don't
just
think
didn't.
it's right. I just think that's actually probably true to form because anybody who lives where he lived would be like, I wouldn't go to the South Side. I go on the South Side.
That specific bit, like I just felt like didn't add anything. It was just like
It
the
probably
ghetto,
didn't, which is
and
why
I
I
was
don't
like,
remember it.
and I highlighted it. I was like, I'm going to go. I have issues with that. So all right, now in this like whole in all my notes, which are like extensive for no reason, I stopped making as many notes towards like the end because I was like, I could just enjoy this. But the quantum state, I did not understand that because when they get in the box for the readers, what happens is they get into this box that is like a portal to the multiverse,
Right.
right? And then they take this drug that puts them in a quantum state, which is a shared mental experience. That's my understanding of that.
I mean, I'm not a physicist. I think, I mean, I think part of this is like, it's sort of like half rooted in Schrodinger's box theory, right? So I think you have to sort of take it as this is what makes sense for this book rather than this is scientific fact, right? I think don't
Correct.
think too hard.
Fair. Okay. But my thing about that is I just didn't understand how they were choosing the door. Like,
I think the idea here is you go in this box, but in order to go down the corridor, you have to take this drug. So when you take this
right.
drug, it allows you to be in this suspended state in which you are able to see the infinite amount of universes. And you have a limited time in which to then walk through a door into a universe that you're choosing. But you're not going to know, you can't necessarily dictate which one you're going to. That's based off of, I think, it came
Your
to be
vibe.
that was part of how your emotional and mental state would kind of dictate what door would open.
Yeah. Like once it started getting all crazy with like the multiple Jasons and stuff, which I did enjoy,
I think you can't
I was like,
think
this
too
is too
hard
much.
about the actual mechanism. I think it makes enough sense to me if you're familiar enough with the Schrodinger's box or whatever. But like, I don't. It's also made up because we can't do this. So,
Right.
well, maybe we
Right,
can.
right.
Maybe someone hasn't figured it out yet.
I Yeah, and I think up to that point, that's when I was like, I'm just gonna sit back and read this book. Once they started going through it, because,
I mean, I definitely think that's kind of where you have to, in the sci-fi type of genre, just kind
yeah,
of
you have to just like
let it
suspend a lot of
ride.
disbelief.
And I didn't
Yeah.
think it was anything so like nonsensical that all right, I could roll with it.
No, I
He
agree.
made
I
it
thought
made
it was
enough sense. Like he made it make enough sense that I'm like, all right, cool.
cool. Yeah. I will say, and I said this earlier, I did not appreciate how he forced his family into this like lifetime of multiverse hopping. Um,
Well, it
because
wasn't a
like
lifetime. Their son chose where they ultimately went and stayed. That was
fair,
it.
but
They weren't gonna keep choosing different. They didn't have any more drug. They were done.
also, but like
This is
it
where they're
seems like the
at.
son has to start all like they have to all start over from scratch, and then also
I
I
mean, they
don't. It
kind of
just,
have to unless they're gonna kill every Jason. They don't know how many there are.
yeah, I guess. I
You
just
have to
felt like
think
he let it get
about
too far.
he did not know how many times. Like you don't know how many times the Jason that was looking for that specific world took that drug getting there. He knows how many times he took it. So then all of the ones that
Right.
were created, you just don't know how many there are. And clearly they weren't going to stop trying to kill you.
That's fair. I didn't even think about the first Jason that multiverse hopped, that he probably created other
Yeah. He
multi.
created a ton of Jasons because I forget if they said how long it took him to um, to find that universe that he wanted where he married her.
Well, I don't know that that took that long because he is the person who understood the how the portal and stuff worked.
Because he had
Like he's
however many vials. I don't know. I don't know how long it took for him to find her initially, but let's say he created 5 different Jasons. Maybe it took. Maybe each of those Jasons still searching. He could have created
yeah, but
like 20. Then they create the other. Because it seemed like there was always a few vials left whenever they came to.
that's
So I think it was that unknown of like how many Jasons are there gonna be, and I think that was the only thing he could think of was if his son is the one who chooses where they start over, that's gonna be the one place they can't look because they can't duplicate that.
oh they that's fair. That's actually something I didn't even think about. Look at you.
Well, and I think that's why I was like, I'm alright with this ending because like within the realm of what they created, I'm like it does make some sense. So all right, I'll sure.
Yeah. I there was this one part which also like I mean, I will say this. Overall, I did enjoy the story. I did think Jason was just like a creep. Because there was that one point where he was like homeless and just like watching Daniela and being like a creep and like going into her home. And it's just like, hey, Jason, are you going to admit to your wife that you did that weird fucking thing that one time when you were looking for her?
I mean, I don't know if I thought it was creepy. I think he at that point knew he didn't want to, because at that point I think he knew there were other Jasons, right? Or he didn't want to tip off to the Jason that got there that he was there. So I think after he
No,
saw,
that was before that. I didn't realize the Jasons. The when he found out that there were multiple Jasons is when he got to the correct world.
but I think he knew after Daniela was killed in the first Jason's world, I think he knew he didn't want to, like you're saying, put her in danger again. So I think that was probably part of it. I think he wanted to have a plan of, how does this work?
No, 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 no. This is a different. What I'm recalling,
Uh-huh.
I explicitly remember this being a problem for me. He became homeless because it was right when him and the therapist parted ways,
Yeah.
and he became homeless for a while, and then he was like watching her in the window and like clocking the other Jason's routine to work and stuff. And he called her on the cell phone just to like
Yeah.
hear her voice to her and all this bullshit. This was before he realized that there were other Jasons.
But he knew there was that Jason that stole his life.
Yeah, but he didn't know if that was that Jason
Oh,
or if that was
it
just
wasn't
the Jason
him.
that was.
So I think he just,
It was,
you saw her get murdered once. I mean, I think he didn't want to see her get murdered again.
but he went inside the house and watched her sleep.
I mean, it's kind of weird. But I think I don't know. I guess it's just like he just wanted to be close to his wife. He didn't know. Because I think at that point he didn't know if he would ever have his life back.
Yeah, not my issue. Like, I just still think it was creepy. I feel
I
like
mean, I think that's fine. I didn't read it that way. It was just like, I mean, I guess, dude.
yeah, I did not like that because
Like,
I
I
was
think
just like,
he wanted to feel that closeness, and he wasn't sure if he was going to be where he was ever again. Like, I don't think he knew if he'd ever be with them again as a family.
Yeah, I don't like that. I was like, that's weird.
I
Like,
think it's fair
I don't.
to like it for sure, but that's how I took it. Was like, I guess you just want to feel this closeness that you may never get again. Because I actually wasn't sure if they were gonna let him be with his family again. I was like, I don't know if this ends, or if there's another book or something. Like, I don't know if this ends well for him.
They created a TV show about it.
I know.
It's
And
on Apple.
fun fact. So when I selected this book, I was like, I saw the title and I was like, man, I remember there being a show that I think was called this, and I remember being like, I don't want to watch that show. It looks lame. So I was like, this better not be that book that's a show. And so I read the synopsis. I'm like, I don't think this is the one. And then I go to the bookstore, and of course it says streaming on Apple TV, and I was like, dang it, this is that show I didn't want to watch. But then I really enjoyed the book. I don't think I'm going to watch the show, though, because I think they're on, like, season 2, and that, to me, says they're going to drag this out, and they're going to take liberties that I don't want them to take. So I'm going to be fine knowing that I read the book. That it was hilarious. This is exactly what I was trying to avoid. I did not want to read the book that was the show.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. Like, I feel like overall
I enjoyed it. So I was kind of glad I did read it, but I wouldn't have chosen it had I actually connected the dots.
No, that's fair. Oh, I also wanted to point out, because last time, our last episode, I noted how all of our books that we've read thus far at that time were debut books.
Yeah.
And this book is not like Crouch's debut book.
No.
However, this is like the one, I don't know that I consider Dungeon Crawler Carl meta, but this is like the third book that has like a meta theme to it, where it's like super meta. And it's like a universe inside of a universe, or like a concept inside of a concept, or whatever.
But this one didn't bother me. I think the meta for this, though, see, some of the books have been more like meta with real life. And this one, I felt like was more just Inception type. I was just saying, I think that for the meta and some of the books we've been reading, it's sort of meta with real life, where it even integrated the authors, or it was just kind of like their thoughts on real world scenarios. I think this meta was more Inception-like, where it's just sort of worlds within a world, but it's all still fiction, which I kind of found refreshing. Sometimes I don't like when books give their personal commentary on what's happening in real life. Okay?
That's fair.
Like, it's okay, but sometimes it can feel heavy-handed, I guess. I think it's hard to get right.
I do think Craft Stories was very heavy.
Yeah.
And I didn't like I felt like it was a heavy-handed rush of like what her personal thoughts were.
Yeah.
Like Surf was Chef's Kiss to me.
But I thought that was a better... See, that meta worked better for me because it wasn't like... It wasn't anything political, or it wasn't anything where it felt like moral grandstanding. It was more, I get it. This is sort of an allegory for the author. So I think that's okay to me. I don't always love when it's clearly it's 2025 and this is an issue and you're telling me how you feel.
It's kind of how you don't like when COVID is like in TV shows.
Yeah.
So I rated this book, I think, a 4.
I think you did. I was actually shocked. I was like, wow, that is a strong rating from Garie.
I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and although I had a lot of criticisms, which I think were constructive, I had a lot of feedback. Yeah. I had a lot of feedback, but I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. I would recommend this book. I think this is the type of book that you could read on the plane, on the beach, um, commuting, or like if you want a palate cleanser that's like, this is an easy book, it's a good book. I would say that as far as like difficulty level goes, it's like maybe a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
Like this isn't for a person who's like not good at reading, but this is
Right.
for a person who likes to pick up a book every once in a while and have fun reading.
Yes.
So I would recommend this to literally anyone because it's just like, unless you like hate sci-fi.
Yeah. But even then,
Yeah.
I don't think it's so sci-fi that it's, there's nothing complete. There's no like made up creatures. There's nothing too hard to imagine.
Right.
So it's kind of,
Yeah.
I think it's a good, because I was going to say, I think it's a good sci fi book for people who aren't super into sci
It's
fi.
sci-fi. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think most people would enjoy this book. It's
Yeah.
really hard to not enjoy this book. Like I don't think it's like the best book ever,
No.
but I think it's well written. It has all the components of a solid book and a solid enjoyable book. Like this is a book club book. This is a good book club book, like where everyone would have
Yes.
positive things to say and enjoy it and not feel like, what the fuck did this person just do? Like, like, it's a book that like if you're patient, it like
Yeah.
has a perfectly timed climax
Yeah.
and all the stuff. The ending, you could have mixed feelings about it. I'm sure people will have like different ideas and concepts about how the ending was, like we did. Um, so
Yeah.
I would highly recommend this book. The only reason I didn't give it a 5 is because I do feel like it was a little bit on the chicklet side. I think it's a bit it's for the masses, so it's palatable. So it doesn't
Yeah.
have a uniqueness to it. This is a best selling author who's very good at his job. So it's not meant to be like the world's best book. It's meant to be digestible to most people. And I think he did a really good job of doing that. So 4 stars from me, highly recommend.
Yeah. I would also highly recommend, I think for a lot of the reasons that you stated, I would give it a 5 because I enjoyed it from beginning to the end. But I would say, I definitely, like you said, it's a good book club book. And in fact, at the end, they have questions that you could use for your book club, like at the very
Oh,
end.
really?
And I thought that was kind of a nice touch. Yeah, and I also because I think the themes in this book are some that you can go beyond just the plot, right? What would you do if you had a chance to go take a different path in your life? Or I think some of the questions there are they're nice to ponder over, and so I always like a book that even if it's fairly superficial, it has a theme or premise that can kind of make you think a little bit deeper, maybe about some things in your own life. Not like in a deep philosophical way, but like, would I want to take that different path, or what if I made a different decision? So I think that can be kind of fun as well. But I did enjoy it. It's not too easy, like you said, but it's also not for the most intellectual of readers, which I think can be nice. Sometimes
Right.
books are, a heavy book is can take work. So I think this is one of those nice kind of break books or palate cleansers, like you said. So highly recommend.
Right. Agreed. So, as a fun way to wrap up 2025, I thought it'd be cool to do like our top 3 favorite books that we've read this year. It doesn't have to be what we read on this podcast because we started this like in the summer. So we have a long list for the podcast. So like, I think we should share our top 3 favorite books of the year. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I can go first. I will say, I think for in no particular order,
Okay.
I think the 3 favorite books I've read this year was I did really enjoy Dungeon Crawler.
Me? You were gonna say
I would say say that's my top book, but I really enjoyed it.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I just think it's a fun ride. I have started the second book, which we'll be doing at some point in our podcast, and I just enjoyed this little series. I also really enjoyed Dark Matter. I thought it was really nice. I thought it was a fun read. It wasn't anything I truly hated. And then a book that we didn't read on our podcast and is nonfiction. I really liked Becoming by Michelle Obama. She's like my favorite person in the world. So I've read all her and Barack's books, but I really enjoyed that one.
Okay. I do remember you telling me about that.
I like all of the Obama's books.
Yeah, you're a big Obama fan.
I am. That's like favorite nonfiction genre, Obama. It's a genre nonfiction.
I do love Michelle Obama. She's great. And she just keeps getting better as time.
Right? Who doesn't want to be her?
Yeah, she's great. Those are good books. I love that you stay true to Dungeon Crawler Carl and you're part of that fan base. Not that I am not. I'm just not as deep into it as you are. My top 3 favorite books in order, starting from 3, is Martyr. I don't know if you've ever read it.
I've not read it.
You read it?
I've not read that.
Oh, I forget who. It's like something Akbar or something like that. I don't know where it's at. But it's like about this Middle Eastern kid who is trying to kind of find himself. He's like in his like mid to late 20s, and it's like kind of like a coming of age type of book. It's very well written. It's very interesting. I feel like if I read this book in my 20s, I'd probably have like a canon event. I discovered this book because I was at an event. I forgot what it was for, but this kid was reading it and he was like feverishly turning the pages, and I was like, what are you reading? And then he told me, and he was like hyping it up. So then I read it. I bought the book and then I read it, and it was really good. And then everyone at the table actually was really intrigued and read the book. And then a friend of mine who was at this event, like we talk about this book throughout the year because he's like, I just spoke about Martyr to someone, and this is their take on it. So it's really cool. And I felt like it was a really good book, well written. I forgot what I gave it on Goodreads, but I think I gave it a 4. It's good. Wouldn't recommend it to everyone.
Yeah. That's most books.
Yeah. Right.
That's most books.
Yeah, but I thought it was a really good book, and it had like a lot of substance, and it was good. In second place, Service. Loved that book.
I knew that had to be in there.
No notes. Great book. Fun, funny. There was obviously feedback, constructive feedback from Danielle about it and how poets should not be novels, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. And coming at number fucking 1, Sky Daddy. I love that. God.
Sky Daddy.
I love that book so much. It is such a good book, and I will recommend this book to anybody. Anybody should read this book, regardless of what you think about anything. It is such a good book. It's funny, it's weird, it's irreverent. It's just a fun book, and it's an easy read. Like, honestly, it would take you no more than, if you're literate, it shouldn't take you more than like 3-4 days. Like, it's such an easy read. It's not written in a pretentious way. The story flows very, very seamlessly. It's one of those books that if you're not particularly intrigued by the book, you probably wouldn't pick it up. But if you read the book, you would find yourself enjoying it because it's just so weird. 5 stars for that book. And that was my favorite book this year, 2025. Highly recommend everyone should read that book, and let me know if you read the book. And I'm happy to read it again and do it on the podcast because I thought it was freaking amazing. So that's our 2025 wrap on books.
I feel like I should not read that book because I feel like if I hate it, you'll be so sad.
I would be shocked. I would have a lot of questions for you because I wouldn't understand what you could possibly hate about it. There's like, there's nothing.
I want to let this. I want to let this stay. This is the best book ever vibe stay. I don't want to
I
burst it if I don't like it.
I think it's really hard to not like it.
That's fair.
Don't get me wrong. I think you will read it and it still won't be a book for you. Like I feel like if you read the book, you still would be like, I could have lived my whole life not reading this book.
Yeah.
However, you would also be like,
Yeah.
I was entertained, so I'm not
Fair.
mad that I read the book. But had I not read this book, my life would have been very close to the same. The only difference is that Garie loves this book.
There's not very many books that I'm like, I hate that I wasted my time. Like, usually there's, because unless they're super, super long, I'm like, whatever. It's like kind of watching a movie where it's not that good, but it's like, Usually I don't come away from a movie thinking I lost time off my life from that. Because I don't watch things that I know I will hate.
That's fair. Did I tell you how the other day I went to, on Christmas Eve, I took myself to a show?
Yes, and that lady, you said you left at the intermission.
Yeah.
The lady behind you was like, borderline heckling them.
Yeah. She's like, next, what's next? I was like, jeez. Like, and then like,
They didn't ask her to leave.
and like, when one part ended, she's like, whoa. And like, she was just like, so audibly disappointed by the performance. And don't get me wrong, it was nice. It was beautiful. It was like Black performance specifically. It's like Alvin Alley or whatever.
Yeah. It just wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good, but also I didn't spend like that much money on my tickets. And
Yeah.
also, I don't think it's like worth a 3-hour performance.
Ooh, hands were kind of rough.
40 minutes is enough. Like at the 30-minute mark, I was like, I'm ready to go.
Because
So when
that's
they're
like, there's no words. There's, yeah.
just dancing on stage,
It's
and
not
then
my
it's
cup
like,
of tea.
yeah, and it wasn't classical ballet, which I think I might have enjoyed.
Preferred.
Yeah,
I
a little
get
bit
that.
more.
I'm not good with modern dance for long periods because I don't know that I get it. I think sometimes they're
Exactly.
making it up when they were like, "This is what this means." Like, oh,
Yeah, it was very
like, are you sure?
it was very interpretive. There was a lot of interpretation that I did not care to do, and it was very fences coded.
I never
Like that.
saw Fences.
Me neither, but I read the play.
Oh, I didn't. I don't love reading plays. I'll say that.
Really, I love
Like,
reading.
I don't.
plays.
I think I just didn't like it in high school, and it just kind of stuck with me. I don't know.
Mm.
Like, I will, but I think it's just weird. I think I read too many plays, and it kind of created a animosity toward them.
I had the opposite experience.
It's
I
like
read a
how
lot.
when you read so much, like we did so much Shakespeare, like more than even what I feel like is the normal amount, and I just like don't ever want to deal with Shakespeare again in my life.
You know, this is kind of a hot take, um, but I don't really like Shakespeare.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think what I think people don't realize is the reason why it's taught is because it's short and it's easy, and it's very teachable, and it can teach you a lot about literary devices and things. So it's not so much that they're teaching because it's just the best thing, but it's mildly funny, and it's teachable in like chunks. I think it's one of those things where people feel like if they say they genuinely like it, it kind of validates them in a way, but
It makes them
doesn't.
feel like better
Yeah,
about
like, oh,
their-
I have a genuine appreciation for this. I
It's
mean,
like-
okay.
like, all right, cool.
It's one of those
No,
things I think some people feel it's elevated rather than this is just a convenient author to use to teach people the basics of literature. prose and metaphors and such.
Correct.
And I think it's quite effective at that, but I don't think you have to thoroughly enjoy it to have gotten the message, right?
Agreed. It just irritates
I think
me.
it's a
Like,
great foundational tool, but I think people have to understand you don't have to like it.
thank you for that. Was a very validating interaction with that. Like, I was like gaslit to thinking that I was like crazy for not
Yeah.
liking Shakespeare, and I'm like, I think he's overrated. Like, I don't think people genuinely like
Yeah.
whatever.
I think
But
people just kind of trick themselves into thinking they genuinely enjoy it because it's just so widespread.
right, and it's like you don't need to like
You
Shakespeare.
don't have to love it. It's okay.
Well, that concludes this month's episode of Hot Takes Cold Brew. We'd love to hear your takes, whether that be about the books we read or errors or omissions we made. So please share your thoughts in the comments and like and share or gatekeep. Please remember that if we get famous, the money will indeed change us. For those at home who want to follow along, we will be reading Culpability by...
I think Bruce Halsinger is his name.
Yes. Feel free to read along. I'm not super enthused by it. It got Oprah's stamp of approval.
Oprah's book club book.
So you know what that means. It means that I will not have a good time. So until next time, happy reading. Bye.